Alfonso Cajero, A Journey into Finance History. Chapter 78. Growth of the Sharing Economy, 2010s. Platforms like Uber and Airbnb changed traditional business models. In the early 2010s, a subtle yet powerful shift began to unfold in cities around the world. This shift wasn't immediately obvious. It started quietly, with individuals seeking more affordable and convenient alternatives to traditional services. Little did anyone know, this would lead to a revolution in the way people lived, worked, and traveled. Alex had just moved to San Francisco, a city known for its steep hills and even steeper living costs. Fresh out of college and laden with student debt, he needed a way to earn extra income without being tied to a conventional job. One day, while scrolling through his phone, he stumbled upon a new app called Uber. Uber promised something radical. Anyone with a car could become a driver and make money on their own schedule. Intrigued, Alex decided to give it a shot. He signed up, passed the background check, and within days, he was navigating the bustling streets of San Francisco, picking up passengers. At first, it was just a way to pay the bills, but as Alex drove more and more people around, he began to realize that he was part of something bigger. Uber was changing the way people thought about transportation. No longer were taxis the only option for a quick ride across town. With a few taps on a smartphone, anyone could summon a car and be on their way. Word of Uber spread quickly. In cities across the globe, people began to download the app, eager to try this new form of transportation. The convenience and affordability were undeniable. Suddenly, car ownership seemed less essential. Why deal with the hassle and expense of maintaining a vehicle when you could summon a ride whenever you needed one? Meanwhile, halfway across the world in Paris, Claire faced a different dilemma. She loved her cozy apartment in the Marais district, but the rent was steep, and her job at a local cafe didn't pay much. One evening, she met a fellow Parisian who told her about Airbnb, a platform that allowed people to rent out their homes to travelers. At first, Claire was skeptical. Letting strangers stay in her home? It sounded risky. But as she looked into it, she saw the potential. With Paris being a top tourist destination, there was a constant stream of visitors looking for places to stay. Claire decided to give it a try. She listed her apartment on Airbnb, and within days, she had her first booking. The experience was eye-opening. Her guests were friendly and respectful, and the extra income allowed Claire to cover her rent and save a bit on the side. Soon, she was fully booked, with travelers from around the world eager to experience Paris from the comfort of her charming apartment. Like Uber, Airbnb grew rapidly. Travelers loved the unique and personalized experiences that hotels couldn't offer. Homeowners, in turn, found a new way to generate income. This win-win situation fueled Airbnb's meteoric rise, disrupting the traditional hotel industry and reshaping the hospitality landscape. As the 2010s progressed, these platforms expanded their reach and influence. Uber and Airbnb were just the beginning. The sharing economy, as it came to be known, began to permeate various sectors. From ride-sharing and home-sharing to freelance work and peer-to-peer lending, the sharing economy was revolutionizing the way people accessed goods and services. The traditional business models that had dominated for decades were being challenged. Companies that once held monopolies in their industries had to adapt or risk becoming obsolete. The power was shifting, giving individuals more control over how they earned and spent their money. In San Francisco, Alex saw Uber grow from a fledgling startup to a global giant. He marveled at how the company had transformed transportation, not just for riders, but for drivers like himself. In Paris, Claire continued to welcome guests from around the world, each one adding a new chapter to her Airbnb story. The rise of the sharing economy was more than just a trend. It was a movement. It embodied the spirit of innovation, flexibility, and empowerment. As the world embraced this new way of thinking, it became clear that the sharing economy was here to stay, forever altering the landscape of traditional business models. As the sharing economy took root, its disruptors began to emerge as the new titans of industry. Companies like Uber and Airbnb weren't just successful, they were reshaping entire sectors, challenging long-established norms and creating new opportunities for millions. But who were the visionaries behind these groundbreaking platforms? Travis Kalanick, one of the co-founders of Uber, was a man driven by ambition and a desire to solve problems. Born and raised in Los Angeles, Kalanick was no stranger to the challenges of urban transportation. He experienced firsthand the frustration of trying to hail a cab in a busy city. In 2008, while in Paris for a tech conference, Kalanick and his friend Garrett Camp came up with the idea of creating a mobile app to connect riders with available drivers. The concept was simple yet revolutionary. Kalanick and Camp envisioned a world where anyone could become a driver, turning their personal vehicles into a source of income. They believed that this peer-to-peer model could make transportation more efficient and accessible. In 2009, UberCab was born, later rebranded simply as Uber. Uber's early days were marked by rapid growth and constant challenges. The company faced legal battles, regulatory hurdles, and fierce opposition from traditional taxi services. But Kalanick's relentless drive and innovative thinking pushed Uber forward. By 2012, the company had expanded to major cities across the United States and beyond. Its sleek, user-friendly app revolutionized the way people hailed rides, making Uber a household name. On the other side of the sharing economy spectrum was Airbnb, founded by Brian Chesky, Joe Gebbia, and Nathan Blecharczyk. The idea for Airbnb came to Chesky and Gebbia in 2007 when they were struggling to pay rent for their San Francisco apartment. A design conference was coming to town, and hotels were fully booked. They decided to rent out air mattresses in their living room to conference attendees and provide breakfast, coining the term airbed and breakfast. The response was overwhelming, and the founders realized they had stumbled upon a significant opportunity. They teamed up with Blecharczyk, a technical expert, to build a platform where homeowners could list their properties for short-term rentals. In 2008, Airbnb officially launched, offering travelers a unique alternative to traditional hotels. Airbnb's growth was meteoric. The platform appealed to both hosts and guests, providing an authentic and personalized travel experience. Hosts could monetize their homes, while guests enjoyed the comfort and charm of staying in real homes rather than sterile hotel rooms. The company faced its share of challenges, from regulatory issues to concerns about safety and quality control. However, Chesky's vision of creating a global community of hosts and travelers propelled Airbnb to become one of the most valuable startups in the world. As Uber and Airbnb grew, so did the impact of the sharing economy. These disruptors didn't just create new markets, they fundamentally changed consumer behavior. People began to question the necessity of ownership. Why buy a car when you could summon a ride at any time? Why stay in a hotel when you could enjoy the comforts of home in a new city? The sharing economy extended beyond transportation and hospitality. Platforms like TaskRabbit, which connected people with freelance labor for everyday tasks, and Lending Club, a peer-to-peer lending service, exemplified the diverse applications of this new economic model. Each of these platforms empowered individuals to become micro-entrepreneurs, leveraging their assets and skills to generate income. Traditional businesses were forced to adapt. Taxi companies launched their own ride-hailing apps, hotels began to offer more personalized experiences, and corporations rethought their approaches to employee roles and customer interactions. The disruptors of the sharing economy had sparked a wave of innovation that permeated nearly every industry. As the 2010s progressed, the sharing economy became more than just a buzzword. It was a testament to the power of technology, entrepreneurship, and the human desire for connection and convenience. The disruptors, with their bold visions and relentless pursuit of change, had forever altered the landscape of traditional business models, paving the way for a future where sharing, rather than owning, became the norm. As the sharing economy continued to evolve, it gave rise to another transformative concept, the gig economy. This new labor market was characterized by short-term, flexible jobs rather than traditional full-time employment. Platforms like Uber and Airbnb were at the forefront of this shift, but they were soon joined by a myriad of other companies offering gig work in various forms. For many, the gig economy represented freedom and opportunity. Maria, a single mother in New York City, found herself struggling to balance work and childcare. Traditional jobs demanded rigid hours that made it nearly impossible to attend to her family's needs. Then she discovered TaskRabbit, a platform that allowed her to find short-term gigs ranging from assembling furniture to running errands.